MBH. Mike, how are you?
Thanks, Vicky. I'm great, thank you. Thanks for everybody. Thanks for the invite.
Oh no, you're more than welcome. So great to have you here. So excited about everything that's happening actually across the group, but in particular the transport vertical is really going with full steam.
Yes.
So tell us more about Intercity, Mike. What does it do, and what's your business history?
Yeah, well, we're a local-based taxi company based in Stoke-on-Trent. And like many taxi companies, it's been a family-run business for many a year. It was founded by the late Ronald Beardmore in 1969. He started, like most of us did, driving a taxi himself. He had a few other vehicles which he leased out, and that's how he started the business off. He's got two sons, Mark and Malcolm. They both entered the business as drivers as well themselves initially, and they were handed over the reins about 35 years ago. And they started to develop the business together with new blood, new investment, and they grew the business organically. And I think one of the things they did, they embraced any new technology coming into the industry, which gave them, every time they embraced a new system or anything new that was coming out onto the system, that they took it on, which gave them, I think, a sort of a heads up over the other companies, the competition in Stoke, because they were quite happy to sort of sit back and do the old traditional way. So that gave them sort of a head start. And that sort of left them, they became sort of the forerunners of the industry in our small city, and they became sort of the leaders. The other companies tended to follow what Intercity did. And they grew their own fleet. They grew quite rapidly, and they got mixture of owner drivers, leased vehicles, MPVs, wheelchair accessible, a mixture of their own cars. And with a lot of hard work, they became a well-respected name in Stoke for transport. And they had built a really good, loyal customer base, business customers, account customers, school transport. They had a separate airport division, which did holiday makers and business transfers as well. Myself, I entered not entered the business. I became a taxi driver with Intercity. That's why I first initially got in contact with them. And did that for many a year. And I actually entered the business as an employer in 2000, and as an employee in 2009. My interview was a bit surreal. It wasn't like any normal interview. It was basically, do you want to come work in the office? And I said, sort of, doing what? They said, well, we don't really know yet. Well, we just think if you come into the office, let's just see how it progresses. And that's what it is. Then over the years, my role increased with Intercity, and I became sort of an integral part of the management team. And we grew the business year on year. And we increased the driver levels to 230, which is the most we ever had. Business was going really well. We experienced growth in all departments of the business. And then COVID hit. So everything stopped. We were doing really well, and just everything stopped, like most other businesses. And so it made us sort of look at our business model again, how we could streamline and how we could keep going through the pandemic. And no one knew how long it was going to last. So it was a matter of, firefighting on a daily basis, really. So we were down, but we weren't out. And thankfully, we did survive COVID, and we're still here and getting back to some sort of normality. Obviously, the industry across the board has lost a lot of drivers, which is a big problem. We're trying to get them back. And it's slow progress getting them back, but we are seeing a decent trickle coming back now. So we are getting back to some sort of normality. So our focus now will be for the foreseeable future, I would think, is recruitment, getting drivers back in. Because obviously we're getting bookings are sort of back to pre-COVID levels, but drivers aren't, which creates an obvious problem. But we are still here, and we're very, very excited about the new chapter.
Yeah, I think many of the companies across the group, from talking to them, recruitment, that reopening, I think everybody's facing those similar challenges at the moment.
Exactly.
But it's a challenge everybody's, wanting to face. There are people looking for work, and it's definitely getting there. So are you settling into the group okay? How's it been? I know it's only been a few weeks, but how has it been when you first joined? What's it like for you?
Well, initially it's a bit mind-blowing, because like a little family company like ourselves, they're becoming a part of a bigger network was all like, oh, it's a bit surreal. But we've had plenty of support from everybody. We're still getting plenty of support from everybody, plenty of guidance. So I do feel the transition's gone quite well.
Oh, that's brilliant. And being a Stoke-on-Trent girl myself,
Yeah.
I know what a great reputation Intercity's got. So I can absolutely
brilliant.
say, yeah, I've been in a few Intercity taxis, Mike, over the years, but we'll talk about that another day. I'm going to bring in David, and obviously for investors, we've met David before on quite a few occasions, but obviously, you know, this whole collaboration piece and being part of MBH, you know, what's your vision? You know, how are you planning to grow this taxi vertical, which obviously you're clearly doing very successfully?
Yeah, thanks, Vicky, and thanks, Mike. A great intro there, Mike. I thought very professional there. I just feel a bit naked without my Take Me T-shirt on this morning because I'm working from home, but I've got my.
He's got his mug.
Companies like Mike's. I mean, Mike's is a fantastic company, as you've just hit the nail on the head, Vicky. Great reputation locally. They're a joy to work with. We're growing the vertical, as you know, the last 12 months at quite a speed. There is a niche in the market. We've had the onslaught of the American apps, Uber, and then the Eastern European one, Bolt, the Indian one, Ola, come in and take market share from us. One of their USPs is the fact that they've created a national brand. So if you're getting off a train in Leicester, Stoke, Banbury, Oxford, or any major town or city in the UK, then you're not always going to know that ADT in Leicester is the local taxi operator, or indeed Intercity in Stoke. So they've got the advantage of having a national brand. We've got the advantage being SMEs, where we've always had to make money and profit to survive. Whereas the Uber, I don't think have made any money, losing billions a year. Whereas we have to make money to survive. And how we've done that is by offering, you know, quality of service. We're local people. We know the local drivers, the local customers. So this is our USP. So if we can bolt that together with a brand, a national brand across the UK, then obviously we've got the best of both worlds. You know, we equally match their technology now, and we've got the USP that we still answer those phones. We can still deal with Mrs. Liggins going to the hairdressers who possibly wouldn't use an app. Somebody's lost some lost property. We can instantly deal with that. You don't have to send an email off to San Francisco and wait 72 hours for return. You know, it's the quality of the service. So we can match the technology. All that's missing is a national brand. And actually working together, we're sharing talent, and there's talent in every business. Mike would have experienced this from our accounts team or from a guy doing the marketing. You know, we've got a lot of talent within the industry and within our vertical. So, you know, and with cloud-based technology, we can utilize that. You don't have to be sitting in Stoke to be doing Mike's social media, or likewise doing mine here in Leicestershire. So, you know, the technology is so easy to bolt us together. So phase one is adding companies like Mike's and welcoming them to MBH, or indeed on the wider Take Me network. Phase two will be bringing in the branding and sort of going more uniform with the technology.
Yeah, and you know, the taxi companies, they've been around a long time, haven't they? Everybody knows their local taxi company, you know, as they've grown up around you. And, you know, it's amazing to see just how adaptable taxi companies have been over the past few years as well, trying to get in line with the modern technology and all the different apps and things like that. So what kind of things are you guys working on collaboratively? What kind of things have you been doing so far? What kind of things do you plan to do?
Okay, Mike, do you want to take that one?
Well, for us, during the Take Me group, David's hit on, like the experience and the teams that are available to us, which is at this moment in these hard times, having a recruitment team, an accounts team, a sales team, brilliant social media management, all at your fingertips. And this is stuff that we've all done, but we were guilty of not doing it very well because things were going very nicely. Now things, you know, now we have got to step up to the plate and get the business back to where they were. You know, being part of the Take Me group and having that there is instrumental, really. And what we want to do is get support from the Take Me group to get us back to where we were pre-COVID, which is what that's what we've got to focus on, getting that. And then obviously support us with our growth. And also we want to give back by being a good part of the Take Me group, and we really like their vision, you know, and we really want to be an instrumental part in their vision, you know, and getting it right. And if we can help other people, the new companies coming on, we want to help do that with as well. So really, for us at this moment in time, with what's you know, where we were, what we've gone through, and where we are now, I mean, we do feel we are exactly in the right place at the right time, and we're glad that we're here.
Yeah, brilliant. And David, how's MBH been useful in your goal to build, you know, it's not just the Take Me brand, but the transport vertical?
It's been very useful. We get a lot of support, a lot of training. You know, we've upped our game in terms of issues concerning the environment and your tuition, Vicky. Even yesterday, 2 members of our accounts team over at our Loughborough office were speaking to a training guy. So we're investing in training in our team. And actually, although we're in taxis, running a small business, we still have the same problems, such as recruitment, that guys in the building industry have. So it's learning from each other and all the other principals. You know, we all have common problems, and being part of a larger network, as Mike says, takes a lot of a lot of weight off our shoulders, because we know there's somebody we can talk to. We don't have to do it on our own. We're in it together.
Yeah. And Mike, just coming back to you briefly, I know you've only been in the group in a short time, but, you know, what are you really wanting to achieve? You know, what's your top few goals that you'd like to achieve now that you're part of the group?
Well, like I said, initially get back to where we were, because before COVID hit, we were doing really well. We were experiencing natural growth throughout our business, and everything was going really nicely. You know, bookings, driver levels, account customers coming on board, and we really just want to focus on getting back to that point.